Morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. Like always, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills, and we have some special guests here today. We got our friends from Dugout Station, but before we get into that, watch the intro and we will be right back.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, June 22nd. TC, my guy, how you feeling?
Hey, I am great. Yankees are looking hot right now. 2 in a row. Woo! Let's keep it going. Let's sweep. Let's do a sweep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Feeling kind of good. We finally won a series, bro. This is the
Yeah.
first time that we won a
About time.
series since the Dodgers series when Aaron Judge hurt that big toe. So we got to feel good about ourselves. Obviously, we got to talk about the conversation that Hal Steinbrenner had with Michael Kay. We'll get into that. Like I said, we have our friends from Dugout Station. They will join us on the show, Julian and our friend Sandy. We got an announcement to make as well when it comes to those two and working with us over here on the channel. But before we get into any of that, TC, let's do a little bit of the roll call, my
roll
guy.
call.
We got Avicii in the chat. Avicii, how you doing? Our guy, Unpopular Opinion, is in the building. Pop, how you doing? Anthony Medina de la Isla. Anthony, how are you doing? Don Sicario, another one de la Isla. Don Sicario, how you doing? Between the bases, salute, 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 3 capital S's. Don't you guys got school? Shouldn't you guys be in school right now? Mitchell Fernandez is in the building. Mitch, how you doing? Big time Jerry Cadell is in the building.
My guy.
Yankee Kyle, how you doing? Like I said, salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's to everyone that showed up. Uncle Tats of the Pinstripe Chronicles. If you guys can, please smack that like button as we continue the conversation. And also, we are sitting at 741 subscribers on the channel. We appreciate all the support. If you guys can, if you're watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button. We are on our way to 1,000. We had a few new shows that debuted this week. We have the Knicks Nightcap with my guy, Phil Porto. We was there showing him support. And also last night, we had the Rangers Ice Brew. If you are a hockey fan, right, if you are big into the New York Rangers, we got a show now, right? Make sure you tap into the Rangers Ice Brew on the channel. My guy, Big Zook, is over there holding things down. We appreciate all the love and support. Now, before the subtleties, right, because we got to talk about it, right? We got to talk about Hal Steinbrenner. I got Sandy backstage. I'll bring her up momentarily to join the conversation. But before Sandy comes up, I just want to bring it up and have me and you, TC, talk about it real quick. Hal Steinbrenner, he had a conversation with Michael Kay yesterday on ESPN Radio, and he hinted at changes if the team flops in the playoffs, right? Brandon Cuddy reported it on this afternoon on the Michael Kay show on ESPN. Hal Steinbrenner said that he was a bit upset. He was a little bit confused on why Yankee fans were upset. And he said, I'm a little confused this year in the 3rd week of June. Why are they so upset? Mr. Hal Steinbrenner, there is a reason why we are upset. TC and I, we talk about it all the time. We love the addition that you added to the team when it comes to Carlos Rodon. We love the fact that Aaron Judge was given his contract extension. We love all of that. But the fact that Brian Cashman decided to go into this season without actually getting an everyday left fielder for this team, that right there cannot be go unsaid. there needs to be some accountability when it comes to that. TC, what's your thoughts on that before we continue?
No, he's obviously not watching the games or watching anything related to the Yankees. I know he says he doesn't check social media and he doesn't watch, all watching the Yankee channels or whatever, the reporters or whatnot. So what the heck are you doing? Honestly, you have no idea why we're upset. You're not watching the games. You're not watching the team perform. You saw the early exit in last year's ALCS, and nothing was done. There was no change. We didn't get a left fielder. You got Rodon. That's the only big change you made. The offense is stale. They can't hit. They're over the hill. They're done. They're washed up. But yet he thinks just give them time. Just give them more at bats. They're going to turn it around. I trust Brian Cashman. We're doing all we can to make this team better. I haven't seen one thing. Us fans know what will make them better. We have guys in play that'll make them instantly better, but they refuse. So I'm confused at his answer. That's
yeah. When it comes to the replacement players, as I like to call them, when it comes to Billy McKinney, when it comes to Bowers, right? Those guys, you got to give them credit for what they've shown you, right? They've stepped up and they've been able to come through when going into the season. None of us was counting on them to have big at bats or be the difference maker in the middle of June when it comes to games, right? We didn't have Billy McKinney as being the guy that's going to save us when it comes to facing the Seattle Mariners. We didn't have Bowers as that guy that replaces Aaron Judge and produces for us. We didn't have that, right? We had the veterans that we had coming into the season when it comes to Donaldson, when it comes to Rizzo, when it comes to Stanton, when it comes to DJ LeMahieu. And if you want to throw Gleyber Torres in that mix, you can add Gleyber Torres to that mix. But before we continue the conversation when it comes to Hal Steinbrenner, we got to bring up our two friends to the show to have the conversation. Like I said, we have two of our close friends who will be working with the channel as well, joining us today. First, I want to bring up Sandy to the channel. Sandy to the panel. Sandy, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, guys. What's up?
Good morning.
I'm good, Sandy. I'm good. How are you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I mean,
2 in a row. We feeling good.
Yeah,
feeling good about ourselves right now.
Going.
That's right. That's right. Also, we got to bring up our other friend, Mr. Julian. Julian, good morning, sir.
Hey, everyone. How we doing? Ready to hop in?
I'm good, brother. Ready for the conversation. You was a little bit late. I don't want to make fun of you, but that's what Sandy said. That's what happens when you hang out with Keith McPherson at 2:00 in the morning. Right. You show up late. No, but Julian, awesome job last night or early in the morning. I was listening to it right before I went to bed. Awesome. It's great to hear your voice on the radio, brother. You had a real good conversation with Keith.
I appreciate that, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to hop on today, and we're looking forward to what we're going to bring.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get into it. But before we talk about anything related when it comes to the team, we got to let the people know in the chat that you and Sandy, you guys will be teaming up to have a show over here on the Morning Brew Sports. We were having a conversation that the name is still in the works, but we're gonna let you guys talk about it to the chat real quick and let them know just a little bit what the show may be around. Julian, if you want to go first, and then throw it over to Sandy.
Yeah, so we're going to be focusing on prospects. We're going to look at Somerset a lot, but we're going to do all levels in the minors for the Yankees. We're going to try to put in some other prospects too for other teams here and there. And we're also going to hit on some Yankees stuff too, obviously. So that's what we're looking at.
Sandy?
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Like we already cover the Somerset Patriots for Dugout, and we're very knowledgeable in what's going on in the pipe. So
yeah.
So we're just gonna, join the morning crew and bring our analytics and our knowledge to you guys.
And we look forward to it, and we're happy to announce that you guys are joining up with us, because myself, Celso, I know T Stills, we love the work that you guys do when it comes to covering
Appreciate it.
when it comes to the farm system as well. And also shout out to our friend Nathan Ramachandra. Nathan, my guy, salute. Nathan's been like traveling all around the country.
Everywhere.
He's doing his thing. I got Nathan, but Nathan as well covers the Somerset Patriot.
Yes.
I done did a bunch of interviews with Sandy over there and Julian as well, because of our friend Nathan. So we got to shout out Nathan, because if it wasn't for Nathan, I don't think I would have been connected with Julian or with Sandy in any way.
That's
so
right.
we always got to shout out our friend Nathan. When I was at the stadium, I ran into Nathan for the first time, and that's when I met Julian for the first time also. And that was that day that Aaron Hicks decided not to show up and drop the ball in left field. But enough with the conversation when it comes to that. I want to ask you guys off rip before we bring up any of the quotes. I'll start with you, Sandy. The conversation that Hal had yesterday with Michael K. What's your thoughts off of that conversation and the one from Brian Cashman the day before? Go ahead, Sandy.
What are my thoughts? I mean, they're saying what they need to say. You know, like they're defending their guys. To bring up a point from Hal's interview, he basically is saying that he's not moving on from JD. We just have to accept it. He threw the fans under the bus. Like, what is this? Are we watching? It feels like it's an extreme between politicians and also watching wrestling, where with all the dramatics. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
No one is on the hot seat. There's no urgency. Nothing.
No accountability.
He believes no accountability. Accountability is on the fans, apparently.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel that he feels like we're a championship caliber team. If we're healthy, we're gonna make the World Series.
Facts. Julian, what's your take on it as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of semantics, honestly. Like, it's just kind of it's a bunch of fluff without much substance. I mean, we kind of just my main message was you just gotta ride it out without judging, hope for the best. You're not getting anything special in the meantime. And the coaching changes, like, nothing's really going to happen unless they somehow miss the playoffs with a healthy squad. Maybe he would look at some things. That's the only thing he hinted at. And the one thing that I liked was that he's actually going to review, like, the stuff going on with the training and the injuries. He wasn't happy with the injury situation. So that's one thing I'll say. But the stuff with Cashman was just like, no trades. We just got to wait it out, basically. That's what it was.
Yeah, and Sandy hit it perfect. It was a combination of political fluff and bad WWE writing. That's what it's felt like. You give him a little bit of credit for making themselves available for the past couple of days. Brian Cashman randomly letting people at the stadium ask him questions, and also Hal Steinbrenner going out there and speaking to the media. But before we get into any quotes, TC, what's your thoughts on it before I bring up the first quote? Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, the Hal just basically speaking nothing. It's just he reminds me of the press secretary at the White House. Just a lot of nothing. Just everything's business as usual. Nothing to see here. We're fine. No urgency. Everyone's great. We're doing. I mean, he says we're doing all we can to make us better. I don't see anything. I don't see any movement, in the positive direction. I don't get it. And like I said earlier, I don't know what he's watching. He's just trusting his PR guys and Cashman, and everything's fine. It's all good here. And it's just, we hear the same song and dance every year.
You and Sandy said it perfectly. Accountability. If this was an episode of Sesame Street, the word of the day would be accountability, because it seems like when it comes to the Yankees organization, there is no accountability. He brings up the fans holding the organization accountable. That was a little bit confusing to me, because if you don't listen to the fans when the fans are at the stadium, how are you going to say the fans are going to hold people accountable? You guys heard it last night when Josh Donaldson got booed that every at bat, after every at bat, he was getting booed, and he's lucky that ball that he hit on the ground wasn't a double play, because the fans were getting ready to boo him off the field when it comes to that, right? So I'm gonna bring up the first quote. Yes, like it says on the bottom of the screen, the word of the day is accountability, right? So when it comes to Hal Steinbrenner and asking about like potential changes to the Yankees, quote from Hal: if we can march into the playoffs 90% of our intended team and we don't perform well in the playoffs, I'll start asking questions. Julian hinted at that when asked about changes being made to the Yankees. The only issue that I have with that is, and I've said this multiple times, Aaron Boone, he doesn't go out there and make the trades, right? He's not the one that is constructing this roster. Aaron Boone has to do the best with what's in front of him. Do we want to see Aaron Boone flip the table, curse people out, and say this player is garbage? Some fans may want that, but you gotta actually live in reality, right? He's not gonna say that. Like Sandy said, he's gonna defend his guys. He's gonna be there to back his guys up, no matter how much or how bad they're performing. TC, I'll throw it to you when it comes to this one, and then throw it over to Sandy and Julian to get their thoughts on this quote.
So he's saying we need 90% of our roster
to even determine,
because he'll blame the injuries. Yeah, it's just another cop out to whether you have your full team or not. If you don't make a good run to the World Series, the season's a waste. So it's just another excuse. This guy is full of excuses and just mumbo jumbo. It's just come on. What is wrong with this guy?
It seems like every September we're waiting for players to come back in order to get healthy before we make that run to the postseason. It's like every for the past 3 seasons, that's what it's been like every September. Oh, we don't know what would have happened if we had DJ or Andrew Benintendi in the lineup.
Exactly.
Oh, we gotta wait for Giancarlo Stanton to come back in September. It's the same excuse every year. Sandy, and then throw it over to Julian.
I agree. I mean, listen, this quote, to me, what this quote is saying is that we're not spending any money. We're not going to spend any money. We're not going to go out there and make a trade until we freaking just shit on ourselves in the playoffs. That's what this quote is telling me.
Julian? Oh, you're muted, Julian. Sorry, your mic is muted.
Okay, I'm good now. So we touched on this one last night too, and we brought up DJ and Benny saying that was the cop-out excuse last year, and that it's the same rinse and repeat cycle. Like, you never have the team fully healthy. No one ever has time to fully get ready. But I don't want to hear about the injuries because other teams get injuries and they still go through. Tampa Bay had a bunch of injuries, and look what they're doing. Yep. We're still 9.5 behind them, and their payroll's a fraction of the thing and of ours. And he talks about that being frustrating too, and trying to figure things out. But like, it's just too much complacency. He's not going to move off from Cashman. He's fully committed basically no matter what happens. And the same thing with Boone for the most part. It's just like from the top down, he's just not. He says it's a failure that irks him, but like it doesn't really seem like it bothers him as much as you would think, or it should.
You bring up other teams having injuries, and I was waiting for somebody to bring that up because I wanted to point this out. The Atlanta Braves lost their best player, and in the same season, they went out there and traded for Jock Peterson, Jorge Soler, and then they won the World Series after losing their best player for the entire season. Like Julian said, everybody deals with injuries. It's how you respond to those injuries. That's the issue with us. When we have injuries, we don't respond. The last time we did kind of respond was when Giancarlo Stanton got injured, and we went out there and got Edwin Encarnacion. And he was with us for the rest of the season. And that actually helped us out. But when we got into postseason, we didn't have the right hitters in our lineup because everyone was either home run or bust.
Yeah.
Still is.
And it still is. And I want to bring up another quote right here because this was one talking about Carlos Rodon and on fans saying that Hal only cares about the money, right? I know that's something that we've talked about how, and his many hobbies, but apparently Hal doesn't have any hobbies and all he does is watch baseball, right? According to Hal. But he says, my family puts a lot of money into this team every year. If I didn't care about winning, I would have just signed Judge and would have been done. We could have fielded a competitive team without Rodon, which is the team that we have right now because Carlos Rodon has yet to pitch for us during the regular season. TC, I'm going to throw it over to you first. What's your thoughts on this quote, and then throw it over to Sandy and Julian?
Yeah, it's fine to spend money, but spend it in the right way. You're not spending it where it needs to go. You have it all in one or two players, and one of them hasn't even pitched a game for us. You leave the rest of the team alone. You didn't get a left fielder, which was a huge need, and you surrounded Judge with a bunch of home run or nothing guys. There's no contact hitters. We could have got a Rise. We could have got other players to sprinkle in there around him. We knew that was the Achilles heel of this team is hitting with runners in scoring position, contact hitters. We saw it in the Astros series, in the ALCS, and nothing was done. We brought back the same guys, just thinking that they're all going to turn it around, and we know that's not going to happen. So if you're spending the money in the wrong place, what good is it?
You talk about spending the money in the wrong place. Two players that we've been having to deal with when it comes to injuries and just being inconsistent this season. Giancarlo Stanton making $30 million and Josh Donaldson making $25 million. That right there is $55 million. The Yankees have a $275 million payroll. You remove Giancarlo Stanton and Josh Donaldson's money from that payroll, we are sitting at $220 million. You could have used that $55 million to go out there and address your left field situation with maybe Masataka Yoshida from Japan or maybe somebody else. Sandy, what's your thoughts on this quote? And then throw it over to
not good anymore. My thoughts, he's not good anymore. He's not making the trades that we need. I mean, when was the last good trade he made? Like, what do you say? Okay, fine. We signed Judge. We got Rodon. Great. Rodon's he didn't even start the season with us. I mean, I can't wait to see this guy pitch and come back healthy and all of that. But going back to what TC said, he's absolutely right. We did spend, but we're not doing it the right way. Like, we're not making the right trades. Like, come on, like, it all comes back to Cashman, honestly.
The little trades for Wandy Peralta, those are good moves. Clay Holmes, those are good moves. The last time you made an impactful, big ticket move to bring in a star was trading for Giancarlo Stanton, and that was a discount. Before that, the last time Brian Cashman made that type of trade to bring in a star for this team, it was Curtis Granderson, and before that, it was Alex Rodriguez. There's too many years in between this man bringing stars to our team. If this team is built on being the Yankees and the cachet of being in the Bronx or being in New York City, you're going to have to make the big moves when you have to make the big moves. And Brian Cashman, like Sandy says, hasn't been able to make that big move to take us over the hump. Like I said, sprinkling Clay Holmes, that's good. Sprinkling Wandy Peralta, that's amazing. Ian Hamilton, Jimmy Cordero, those are good moves, but we are still waiting for the big impactful move when it comes to adding someone to this lineup that's going to be a difference maker. And Julian, what's your thoughts? Go ahead, Sid.
Oh, sorry, that's not taken away. Also, I just wanted to make a point that Bowers, McKinney, and Calhoun, I mean, they're kicking ass right now.
Those are good moves, They're
stepping up. So that's good. But imagine if we didn't have these guys right now.
Where will we be? Absolutely. Julian, go ahead.
I'll say one trade. I mean, it's not like a huge star anymore, but the Anthony Rizzo trade was probably the best recent trade for a bat. I mean, he's not a superstar anymore. It's not like we got the Cubs Rizzo, but that was the good one. Other than that, the bat trades have been really bad. He's great at finding like the scrap heap, like Sandy just brought up with some of those players, and like you guys brought up with the relievers. Like, he's really good at that, but he can't seem to get that elite talent.
Like Montez, come on.
Yeah, that was the worst trade.
Donaldson,
Montas and Gallo, and
more bad than good.
You see Duran kicking ass in Texas too for Gallo, and although we got Clayton Beater at least, but The one thing is that someone brought up a good point yesterday. I want to share this one. Donaldson, if you didn't have JD, you could have used that money to get a left fielder. You could have signed Nimmo or like Yoshida or something like you said. Like the money is enough that they're spending. Like you guys all said, like it's just not being allocated properly. And then you have to waste $10 million on Aaron Hicks, who's not playing this year. You might have to cut Josh Donaldson around the trade deadline if he doesn't get it done too. So that's like $35 million of dead money. It's not being productive.
Yeah, and 100% right, Julian. And we can point at the bad moves that you make. It's okay to admit when you make a bad move. My issue with when it comes to Hal and Brian Cashman is that they will make a bad move, but then double down and defend that bad move.
They did.
If you was listening yesterday, bring it up, the Frankie Montas thing, right? Listen, that's a move we had to make, and we would have made it again. Like, just admit, listen, just say, terrible, hindsight 50-50. We tried to gamble. It didn't work out in our favor. We was wrong on that. We're not going to beat you up. We're not going to eat you alive just for saying that. The same thing with Giancarlo Stanton, talking about, well, Giancarlo Stanton, we know he can carry a team for a week, maybe 3 weeks or whatever. I know he's injured. I know he's been underperforming. But if we go back in time to 2018, we're doing that move again. Hindsight 50-50, realize maybe that wasn't a good move for you because we're stuck with Giancarlo Stanton and his contract for the next 5 seasons. His contract is over when he's 38 years old. I don't think he's going to play out the rest of that contract. Julian, Sandy, what's your thoughts? Am I off base for saying that they're going to have to come to a time where they may have to cut and eat the rest of his contract?
Go, Julian.
Okay, honestly, I was going to say he's going to either retire a Yankee, which he's not going to play for another team. Like, he's not going to get another deal after this. He's going to be so done by the time he's 38. He's breaking down right now. It's going to be interesting to see if he could get that 500 home runs, if he could somehow stay healthy enough. That's the one thing that'll be a little cool thing to watch. But it's just tough. I don't know if there's going to be a time the Yankees eat that money. It really depends in the future what's going on. But he's clogging the DH spot. And we spoke about this yesterday. You have so many guys you could put in there. Like Bowers needs to be DHing. When Calhoun was healthy, he needs to be DHing. Like Stanton's a better outfielder than those guys.
Agree.
The thing with that, with Stanton playing the outfield, I mean, I feel like we have to preserve him, like like preserve him so he doesn't get injured. And,
wrap him in bubble wrap.
Yeah. It's just too much, honestly.
I honestly feel like you guys seen the movie 61 about like Maris and Mantle change shit. You remember when they showed Maris wrapped up like a mummy? I honestly feel that's how Giancarlo Stanton walks around his house, wrapped up like a mummy with just different ice packs all over the place. We also got 41 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack the like button and join the conversation. Also, we are sitting at 743 subscribers. We got 3 new subscribers while watching the show, so we appreciate the new subscribers. Let us know in the chat.
Welcome
if
in.
this is your first time watching us. Welcome to the Brew Crew. So I want to bring up the last quote before we talk about anything else when it comes to the prospects. And Julian talked about it a little bit about Josh Donaldson, right? Hal Steinbrenner talking about the timeline they have given Josh Donaldson, and he said, I don't know, I haven't thought about it. Right now, he's our starting third baseman, and we hope he turns it around. When it comes to Josh Donaldson, the love-hate relationship that us Yankee fans have with the salt and pepper Poppy, that I like to call him, because he rears the gray hair a little bit nice, but Josh Donaldson, my man, Father Time has caught up with Josh Donaldson, and he has caught up with him like that. TC, what's your thoughts on this quote about Josh Donaldson, and what do you think the Yankees would eventually do with him? Go ahead and then throw it over to Sandy and then Julian.
Good old Josh Donaldson. You can see in his at bats, he just doesn't have it anymore. He's beyond his years already. He's done, and it's embarrassing to watch him day in and day out go out there. I mean, he's hearing the boos. I mean, he plays some good defense. It's above average. I wouldn't say he's spectacular, but that's all he brings to our team. He doesn't get on base, doesn't drive in runs. He'll hit the occasional meaningless home run in the 9th inning when we're down by 10 runs. But that's it. It's just awful watching this guy, in his at bats. It's I don't see him. I don't see him playing past this year. And honestly, I think they have to cut him before the end of the season. I sure hope he's not on this team, in September. We can't go on much longer with him. His batting. What is he batting? 130.
143.
I think.
Oh, Sandy was ready to go with that one. She was like, "I'm ready." 143.
Josh Donaldson is. Yeah, I thought it was lower than 140, but yeah, it's awful, and
yeah,
he should retire it like now.
Don't even wait. Before we throw it over to Julian, I want to shout out NFE in the chat. NFE, first time seeing you. Welcome to the Brew Crew. Appreciate you. MHVACR, how you doing? Scars AK-47, my guy. Sunil, salute, 3 capital S's. My guy Jerry is in the building. We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Like I always say, if you guys can, please smack the like button for the conversation. Go ahead, Sandy.
I wanted to highlight to follow up on TJ's comments about Donaldson. Yes, his stats are horrendous. And I just want to highlight that. His OPS is 679, you guys. Batting average 143. Yes, he hits meaningless home runs. Oh my God. You said you nailed it.
He pimps them though.
Yeah, he pimps the hell out of them. Julian.
Julian,
go ahead, Julian.
Guys, don't worry. His expected batting average is 240. It's going to turn around. It's gonna get a lot better.
It's going to get hot.
He's going to catch on fire over the next couple of weeks, right, Julian?
I mean, it's just crazy. He has 8 hits and 6 home runs. So because of the home run, he's useless. And the home runs have been useless because we were saying that I think they're 0-5 when he goes yard or something like that. Because he did have 2 in a game and they lost. That's right. So, yeah, it's just a train wreck. Brian Hoke gave us some hope, though. He said maybe if things aren't working out that he could see it around the trade deadline post All-Star break. It's just too early right now because they have too much money tied up. They ate the money with Hicks. So they're praying that he's going to figure it out. Like, I feel like they're panicking behind the scenes. So, okay, they just don't want to let us know. Like, there's no way it's not being evaluated. It's just not a proper job handle. They're not doing their jobs properly if it's not being evaluated.
No, definitely.
And I think Hector, though, the problem is they don't want to admit their mistake. Getting him.
Yeah,
that's what it is. They
keep doubling.
Don't want to admit it.
They're doubling down on the mistakes instead of actually admitting that you were wrong in one situation. You're doubling down on it and trying to find excuses to justify that mistake. I think we have a nice sample size because when you look at Josh Donaldson with the Yankees, he's been in 151 games, so that's basically a season, right? Yeah. He has 538 at bats. In those 538 at bats, he is batting .212. with a .297 on base percentage, a .381 slugging, a .678 OPS. He has hit 21 home runs. He has driven in 70 runs, but he has struck out 60 times. I think that's fair to say that's a nice sample size from Josh Donaldson just to show you that he doesn't have it anymore. And I want to give a shout out to my brother, Mr. Pete Seminetti from NYY News TV family. Pete, how you doing? And letting all of you guys know September 23rd, NYY News TV family will be taking over Yankee Stadium. Make sure if you're going to the stadium that you get your ticket and join us in the Audi suite. And as well, after the game, there's an after party. We're letting the details come out over the next couple of weeks, but there's an after party you guys aren't going to want to miss out. Make sure you get your tickets. Jigga, if you're watching right now and you're backstage, put the link in the chat so people can get their tickets for the game. But yeah, like I said, that's a nice little sample size when it comes to Josh Donaldson over the past season and some chains. Go ahead,
Hector,
go ahead, TC.
Real quick, if you guys want to laugh, put Casey Funtime's last quote.
I got you.
If you can find it, read that.
He said, if I managed money like Cashman, I would be broke, divorced, homeless, but he's commanded and he's living the high life. Listen, commended and living the high life. I've never seen someone fell upwards as much as Brian Cashman has fell when it comes to the decisions that he have made over his time when it comes to running the New York Yankees. I've gone over his transaction history for his entire career, and I always want to point this out. When he got the job in 1998, the Yankees won the World Series.
They were ready.
In that offseason, he decided to pass up on Randy Johnson because he felt Randy Johnson wanted too much money. 2 seasons later, he gave more money to Mike Mussina instead of giving it to Randy Johnson. I love Mike Mussina. I love the Moose. I grew up with him as my Yankee ace when I was in high school. But I would love to dream about a starting rotation of Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, and Andy Pettitte with El Duque as your 4th starter. I would just dream and lose my mind thinking about that.
But his problem, Hector, is he gets the guys already past their prime, thinking that they're going to relive those prime years, and it doesn't happen. He's done it over and over and over again with Kevin Brown, and you just keep going, naming all kinds of guys. Randy Johnson, he ends up getting them 4 or 5 years later. He's already done.
And when you got him, you gave him a contract extension, which was more money than what he wanted in '98.
Exactly.
Jesus. Randy in New York. And then remember, you'll never forget. I'll never forget that he shoved the camera, man. You just knew he wasn't built for New York.
Yes.
He did that. To say it gonna go well.
Jack McDowell, he did the same with him.
Yeah, that was a brutal stretch of getting garbage pitchers, and none of them could handle New York. Like it was just.
Don't even mention Carl Pavano.
Yeah, Jared Wright. You remember
Javi
Jared
Vasquez,
Wright?
Trying Javi Vasquez twice. And then he couldn't
not once. It didn't work out once. He had to do it twice, Julian, to see if he figured it out.
And just like Sonny Gray, he could pitch well on other teams, but couldn't pitch in New York. Because he went somewhere and did well. That's why we thought we could bring it back, and it just no.
That's the only true thing Hal said yesterday. He did talk about Sonny Gray. He said,
He said that's a move that you would like to get back, but you never. Some people can't make it in New York.
Yeah,
but it was their fault. They tried to turn him into something else. They didn't let him, pitch what he's normally pitching.
Rob Kyle was an absolute disaster. Thank God for Matt Blake, because that's one area we're very good, and Blake's been doing a great job with the pitchers. I
agree. Yeah.
No, definitely. But I always, and I hate to do this, reliving the bad moves that didn't happen. But when the Miami Marlins decided to do their fire sale back in 2007 or 2006, when it happened, he passed up on Miguel Cabrera because he didn't want to trade Phil Hughes, Jabba Chamberlain, or Ian Kennedy. Imagine Miguel Cabrera with the New York Yankees in his prime. And you know what it is? You could have put Miguel Cabrera at first base, which means that you don't sign Mark Teixeira. I love Mark Teixeira, but that draft pick we gave to the Angels for Mark Teixeira turned out to be Mike Trout. So just imagine us in there's a timeline or a universe out there in the 2010s when the Yankees have both Miguel Cabrera and Mike Trout on the same team.
You know what? I want to get a board. I wish there was like a board you could just like press buttons or like undo certain moves to see like what would have happened. Like
I feel like that meme where the guy is just connecting the different lines, the different posters, the conspiracy meme. That's what I feel like right now. But
It's like those choose your own adventure books. You pick this path.
Yeah, pick whatever path you want to go down. Yeah, I want to switch gears just a little bit because Julian, you was there at Somerset when Carlos Rodon was there, and also another great question that you asked him when you was there. But I want to bring it up because Carlos Rodon, he did pitch 3 innings. He had 5 strikeouts. He gave up a 1 run, and he walked the guy. What was your thoughts being there in person, seeing Carlos Rodon, and then the question and stuff afterwards when it comes to interviewing him? What was your thoughts on it, Julian?
Thought it was really good, honestly. I was very happy with what I saw. It was really a hype moment. It was exciting, like the first time he's pitching, like in the whole organization now. I was just happy to be able to be there and cover it. The ball early on, like he was in the first batter, he got squeezed a little bit. Like there were a few calls. There was like 3 pitches in the first inning, like very borderline, could have went his way, and there were some check swings he didn't get. But after he walked the first guy, gave him a hit, it was all systems go. He shut everyone else down. He struck out 5 batters. like 92 to 94 range more consistently. He topped 95. The breaking stuff looked pretty good. He got a lot of swings and misses on balls in the dirt, so that's a really good sign. And I thought it was really good for his first start because he hasn't pitched in a long time. Then afterwards, I asked him about like what he was like most frustrated about with the situation of like not being able to play. And then he said he just missed being with his boys and like he was just hurting not being able to go there and compete. Like he wanted to get after it right away. And then the part that everyone's going to love is that he said he wants to make his home debut in front of the fans. Hopefully July 5th is possible potentially. So look out for that.
Okay. I thought he wasn't playing this year.
That's what some people have been saying. That's what people have been talking about on Twitter. Sandy, what's your thoughts on Carlos Rodon coming back, and how much of a importance will he be to our stretch run in the second half of this season?
I can't wait. I can't wait to see him pitch. That he reminds me of CC, the way he's built. I feel like he's got a lot of power. It's just I'm excited to see him pitch in the Bronx soon. I love the interview that sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. I love the interview, Julian. I love the interview, Julian, and all the questions and the way he approached the media. I mean, I think Yankee fans are gonna love him. You know?
No, definitely. He feels like one of those guys that were born to be a Yankee, right? Just the way that he interacts with the media and even with the fan base. Go ahead, TC. I want your thoughts on it before I give mine. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, it's a good sign. I liked what I saw from Rodon yesterday, and it gives us something to look forward to that we've been waiting for all year. Is that bulldog, that guy right behind Cole that can take us far in the playoffs. I mean, this is the guy we needed for that, but he's not going to change his team around. The pitching has been terrific all year. Especially the bullpen. It's the offense, but hopefully this can maybe ignite the offense and see some positivity going forward. But just him coming back's not gonna make this offense click, and that's what is needed. And they gotta inject something into this team, whether it's AAA or find some a little minor trade here and there. But something has to be done. We can't just wait for Judge, wait for Rodon. I mean, something's got to be done now. But yeah, listen, positive with Rodon. I love what I see here.
Positive with Rodon, and I see what you're saying about the team going out there and making a move for the outfield. But I'm telling you like this. Big bad Billy McKinney, baby. He is channeling his inner Yankees Solarte, right? He is channeling his inner Matt Carpenter. Billy McKinney is going to save this season for the New York Yankees. Obviously, I'm just being loony right now, but you got to think of it. It's a good story. This is a guy that we traded for back in the days when we got Gleyber Torres and that Aroldis Chapman deal with the Chicago Cubs. He bounced around with different organizations. He made his way back to the Bronx, and you gotta like what you're seeing. Like I said, little moves like McKinney, little moves like Bowers, even Willie Calhoun for a little bit. Those are good moves to sprinkle around the guys that are already here. We need our veterans to step up in order for this offense to do damage, right? Because when you look at the map, when it comes to the postseason and teams that are out of it, there aren't many good outfielders out there for us to trade for, right? Really tough. There's hardly any. I had Jorge Soler in my thoughts, but the Miami Marlins, they're right there in the thick of the playoff hunt. They're not trading Jorge Soler no time soon, right? So there's really no one out there for us to trade for. People were thinking about Jock Peterson or Conforto, but the Giants, how many games did they win in a row? By like 9 games in a row, something like 10 in a row. Yeah. So they're killing it. So they're not going to trade any of their pieces.
They don't really sell either too much.
No, so we're going to have to do this, like you said, TC, internally, or guys that are already here on the roster, they're going to have to step up. Julian, I know you was talking about you wanted Estevan Floriel to have that shot, but with Billy McKinney, what's your thoughts on Billy McKinney?
I'm excited for McKinney. I said yesterday, I'm really surprised with what he's done. I didn't expect it. He's been a journeyman for a while. We've never seen this at the MLB level from him. but he's doing everything he needs to do to try to carve out a role in this team all the way through, even if we get some reinforcements. There could be a spot on the bench for McKinney, the way he's been playing right now. And me and Sandy have been having a lot of fun with the mock trades, and we can trading for the outfields is really hard. Like, we always talk, I'm like, I don't know who else to get. Like, we're trying all these.
There's hardly any. The only person that I really like, and I want to get your take and Sandy's take on him, is Kerry Carpenter from the Detroit Tigers. He is a young outfield. I think he's 25, 26. He bats from the left side. What's your thoughts on him? And he hits above. He hits like average when it comes to being a 280, a 290 hitter. What's your thoughts on him, Julian? And throw it over to Sandy.
We did a trade for Kerry Carpenter, actually. Let me see if we can find it. We actually did a package deal for Eduardo Rodriguez, too.
How old is he?
He's about like 25, 26. He's a left fielder that bats from the left side. He could play both left and right field. So that helps us out because we definitely need a left fielder. And like I said, he's a guy that he hits for what is considered in 2023 hitting for average. He hits about 280, 290. He has double digits when it comes to his home runs. His splits against left-handed pitching, that's the only thing that may be a concern. He's a better hitter against right-handed pitching. But if we have a nice platoon between him and someone else, I think that can make do for the rest of the season.
I found the trade, by the way. We proposed getting Kerry Carpenter and Eduardo Rodriguez for Ron Marinaccio and Oswaldo Cabrera.
Okay. All right. What's your thoughts about the St. Louis Cardinals? Because they're going to have to sell pretty soon. Do you see anybody on the Cardinals roster that pops out to you that maybe Brian Cashman can get something out of him?
Yeah, I see a few people. We've been talking Cardinals a lot too. We literally gutted the roster, like trying to look through everything. Arenado's not realistic. I don't think they're not going to go that drastic. I don't believe. Newbar would be the dream, but that's a high price to pay. I can't see that. I can't see that one being met, unfortunately. There's two guys that interest me. Dylan Carlson can maybe Dylan Carlson. He's a little interesting lefty, but he's around an average hitter. Maybe it's slightly above. He's only like 24 though, so maybe there's some upside for him. Okay. And then Tyler O'Neill's been linked, but I don't love that one because it's not a right-handed bat, very injury prone. He hasn't been good in a few years, but there've been reports of that.
Listen, if he's healthy, Tyler O'Neill, like you said, even though he's a right-handed hitter, it kind of intrigues me just because he did hit 35 home runs one season. Right, I think it was like his first or second year up, so he does have the power, but that's only if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, I'll pass on him. But like you said, Julian, it's hardly anybody out there. Sandy, anybody that you have had your eyes on for when it comes to the outfield, or even when it comes to the starting rotation, for us to give a chance on?
I was big on the Yankees lost their opportunity. I was big on Yoshida, big on Profar. We needed veteran outfielders that will help Are you really trusting McKinney and Bowers in the outfield in come postseason?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No,
but
they have to fix this left field situation. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Bellinger, that's another one.
Bellinger.
That's the one that could be realistic. Bellinger won't cost too much. That might be the person.
One, because Bellinger, when it comes to prospects, may not cost you that much because you're eating a lot of that money, right? So it's just money that you're bringing on, and that's what it's going to come down to: is Hal Steinbrenner gonna give Brian Cashman the okay to go over that luxury tax threshold, adding what is it making? I think like 18, 19 million this season with 19, the Cubs.
So if you cut it in half, it'll be like 10 around the trade deadline.
So about so half of it,
They could do something like they did when they acquired Rizzo and the Cubs paid the salary, like maybe it's a half and half or something, and then you make the prospects a little bit better. Like there's a way to get Bellinger in the Yankees, and I think it needs to be explored heavily.
Yeah, I definitely would do it, and he's versatile too. You could stick him in any of the outfield spots. Could put him at first base if you got to give Rizzo a day off. So, like Sandy said, I'd rather trust Cody Bellinger in the outfield over a Bowers or even McKinney, who's been known as being an outfielder in his career.
He plays all three.
To change the subject a little bit, but honestly, why aren't we giving Floriel a chance? His defense is like 100%. Oh, his defense is better than McKinney and Bowers, and he's killing it in AAA right now. Why? I
was going to bring that up because now that Willie Calhoun's going on the IL, who are they bringing up? Are they bringing up Floriel, or are they going to bring up Cabrera
That's
again?
a good point.
Yeah.
With Julian, I want to ask you, or maybe Sandy, if you guys know this, because I don't know it off the top of my head. When somebody goes on the 15-day IL, does that open up a 40-man roster spot to add someone to the foot? No, it doesn't. Only for the 60-day IL.
60. So here's the thing.
Okay.
I mean, Oswaldo can be recalled now because it's an injury situation, so he doesn't have to wait like the 10 days because Calhoun got injured. Everyone seems to be thinking that it's him, and it's not going to be Floriel. Maybe they'll surprise us. You got to cut someone off the 40 to get Floriel. I mean, you could cut Frenchie if you wanted to. I don't see what would be the issue with that because he's not coming back. We saw enough from him.
But I mean, look at Floriel's stats at 384 batting average, 18 home runs, 44 RBIs. His OPS is 1.026 right now. And people like to say, he's only a AAA player or quadruple A player. That's all it is. But when have we given him consistent at bats up here? He has played 2 games, then not play 3, then play. I mean, I don't know the specifics, but that's how it is. He hasn't.
No, you're hitting it right on the head, Sandy. Yeah. Over the span of 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's only gotten 52 at bats. He's never been given an opportunity. They've never said, you know what, we're gonna give you 50 at bats to figure it out at this level consistently. Show us what you got. We've never gotten that from Estevan Floriel. You've gotten that from Tyler Wade. You've gotten that from other guys, but you why not give it to Estevan Floriel? I don't understand it. And when you look at his stats, he's having the best season of his career in the minor leagues. Early on, when he was a younger prospect, the thing that hurt Floriel the most was he was always injured. It was either he was breaking his wrist, it was either he was hurting his ankle. He was always injured when he was 19, 20, 21 years old, but then he started putting it together. I'm telling you guys right now, go out there, watch a video from Estevan Floriel 3 years ago when he made his major league debut and put that side by side to right now. He is a totally different hitter. He is more poised at the plate. He walks more. He strikeouts less. He has more power than he's ever had in the minor league level. Give this guy a chance. What is it going to hurt you?
Yeah, we both want him up. Like, we really do. Like, we've been saying that for a minute. I would like to see him instead of Oswaldo because Oswaldo was bad. I mean, we all love him, but he was bad offensively.
He was.
His WAR was like -1 almost on reference, so it was not a good showing from him, unfortunately. We don't need to keep him going back and forth. Like, it should be Flo's time, honestly. Like, think about the value he could add just as a defensive replacement, even running the bases too, even if you're not going to stick him in the lineup every day. Sandy was correct. He's never played more than 2 games in a row. He's never gotten even 3 straight starts.
My guy Pete, earlier in the week, right? Game 1, Seattle versus Yankees. He did a great job calling the game like always, but he had Eric Kratz and Scott Braun, our friends from Foul Territory, on with him. Eric Kratz, you guys know he was in the Yankees minor league system, and Eric Kratz said, he's like, for some reason, the Yankees, they're just not fans of Estevan Floriel. He's like, Eric Kratz doesn't believe that the Yankees will ever give Estevan Floriel an opportunity to play at the major league level.
He's gonna get traded. They're trying to just hold on to the value that whatever he has and trade him at the deadline. I think. I mean, I want him to go if they're not going to give him the opportunity. Let him go somewhere.
Let him go somewhere else.
In AAA anymore. Like, we've seen enough in AAA.
We're just wasting his talent there. And Peraza. Now that we're on this topic, Peraza, come on.
What
are we doing?
Julian, I think he was talking. Yeah, I was about to say, Julian, I think he was talking about it yesterday. Is Peraza hurt right now?
I don't know the full specifics of it. I could try to look up more information. It's just the minor league injury reports just stink. Like, they don't give you any information at all. Like, even the best guy in Scranton couldn't get the proper info. He was just like, there's something up. Like, they're gonna do testing. They hope it's not serious. Didn't even say like what body part it was or what happened.
Yeah.
So
but
no.
It was just when hearing Brian Cashman say that Oswald Peraza has to finish his development the day before.
Oh my God.
What does he have? He is on pace right now. When you look at over 150 games at the AAA level, he is on pace to hit you 50 home runs. What else do you need to see from this kid that he had? What else does he have to do to prove that he belongs at this level? TC, go ahead, Sandy.
It really is not fair because I'm sorry. I mean, call it what it is, but Volpe, I hate to compare, Volpe, did Volpe give you this production in AAA?
No.
No.
Okay. I mean, come on.
He didn't hit over 300.
Nope.
No, not at all.
Nope.
And there is some news on freaking the Frenchie Cordero. He's also injured now, so I don't even know if they could release him if they wanted to. I don't know how that works either. So he's got a shoulder injury. I checked to see if there's any more recent info on Oswald Peraza. Nothing. That's all we have.
TC, what's your thoughts?
Yeah. Why did they even bring him up last year? What was that all about? He was in the postseason playing.
Yeah.
And yet he needs to be, finish out development in AAA.
So stupid.
It has nothing to do with his
development.
performance. It has all to do with the marketing. They had all their eggs in one basket. Volpe. They don't want to look stupid, bringing him up and comparing him to, Volpe, have him switch, which he's a better shortstop than Volpe. They don't want to do it. I think they're going to let him ride it out in AAA. And then when JD retires or moves on, they might stick him at third or second. And it doesn't make any sense. You have a shot. The guy is so red hot right now. Why would you not bring him up? We have guys that we can get rid of. There's guys on this team that have no business being on this team. And yet they're going to waste this kid's talent. He's got defense. He's fast. He can hit for power, hit for average. Again, another common sense move that they don't want to do.
I want to ask you guys, what's your thoughts when it comes to Gleyber Torres, right? Because I think when you look at some of the all-star voting, it's weird because Gleyber Torres could be an all-star this year, right? Which is very weird because Yankee fans, they would vote for anyone. But Julian, I want to get your thoughts, and then we could throw it over to Sandy before we circle around to the last topic for the show. When it comes to Gleyber Torres and the way that he's been playing over the past few weeks, what's your thoughts on it, Julian?
I think he's been pretty good. I mean, the play yesterday was really bad, obviously. He has a few moments here and there, but he's been the best hitter since Judge has gone down, basically. Honestly, he's been the one hanging in. I mean, his OPS is around like in that 800 range, it's a touch under, but he's been good. We got to hold on to him for now and see how everything's going to go before next year and all that. They need his bat in the lineup. He's got to play every day, and he's been getting it done, and they need him to, and they need him to keep it going because he's important.
Sandy, same question to you. What's your thoughts on Torres? And Julian said that we got to keep him. Are you in the same? Do you line with that sentiment? We got to keep Torres.
I do because. So what are your thoughts? Would you prefer like him being replaced with someone? Like who's going to replace his production? Because he's basically the only guy hitting right now.
When it comes to Gleyber Torres, it's 50-50 because like you and Julian said, he is the only person that's hitting right now, right? Outside of Aaron Judge, he's probably our second best hitter on this lineup. But if we're going to try to trade to improve this team, he is the only person at the major league level that has any value to them, right? Because everybody else is like just old veterans or have big time money attached to them.
That's not true, though. He doesn't have much value.
No, he's a 25, 26-year-old second baseman that's probably top 5 second basemen in baseball. Right. So that's what I'm talking about, his value compared to the guys that are over 30 that have big time money attached to them.
What type of return you think you're going to get for Torres?
If we're trying to get a reliever, we could probably get a middle inning reliever, a 7th, 8th
give up
inning.
a bat for a reliever?
No. What I'm saying is that what we have right now when it comes to an abundance of is infielders. If we're trying to trade for a left fielder, that's a person that we could trade for to add a left fielder and bring up a Peraza or use a DJ LeMahieu at second base. But when I'm talking about value on the team, when you look at all the other players we have on our team, he has the most value. He has more value than DJ LeMahieu because he's younger and cheaper than DJ. He has more value than Josh Donaldson. So that's what I'm talking about, value. So if we're trying to trade from an abundance of stuff that we have when it comes to infielders, we could trade Gleyber Torres because he's more value than any of the infielders that we have, aside from Volpe, just because he's a rookie.
I disagree. Peraza has more value than Torres.
No, what I'm saying at the major league level, he's not. Peraza's not at the Peraza's not at the major league level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it probably would make more sense to flip it, like Sandy's saying. If you really want something bigger, Pros is the person you would have to move because, like, I know, but you were saying MLB. But
Yeah.
I will say the bullpen has a lot of value. If you pick someone out of that bullpen, that could be more valuable than Torres in a certain situation.
Who are you willing to let go out of the bullpen?
We can't afford to lose anybody there.
I mean, I guess if I had to pick someone, probably Ron or Clay. You can't really do Clay. I guess Ron would be the most expandable probably because his value's not bad. He's pretty young. You could probably replace him. I like him, but like if we're trying to get something, like I would put him in a trade potentially.
And I think he has like 5 more seasons of controllability, or 4 more,
Mike King,
4.5 more seasons.
King is too valuable to the Yankees. They can't move Mike King. He would be the biggest return, but you can't trade Mike King. He's just too important.
Same. I feel the same way about Michael King. In my opinion, I know he closed out the game yesterday, but I think Michael King, he needs to be the closer. I like Clay Holmes
Tommy
being
Kahnle
that
closed it out.
I mean, Kahnle closed it out. Yeah, I'm sorry. Kahnle closed it out. But I like Michael King as the closer. And when you look at Clay Holmes, I like Clay Holmes being that guy that comes in the 7th inning or the 8th inning with the bases loaded and gets us out of a big-time situation because his stuff is just filthy. He can get you a double play ball whenever we need it. He can get you that strikeout whenever we need it. You saw what he did against the Mets. I know a lot of Yankee fans were probably nervous seeing him in a situation, bases loaded with nobody out. But when you look at over his last 22 appearances, Clay Holmes is pitching to an ERA that is 0.30 over his last 20-plus appearances.
Filthy.
He is filthy. I think Clay Holmes is back to what he was last year when he was dominant.
Yeah, he found his groove.
He's looking good, and we need him to. And then when Ian Hamilton steps back in, that bullpen's going to be just about flawless. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and again, that's not the problem. The problem isn't the bullpen.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You're right, 100%.
That's been our saving grace all year.
Even us. I think our bullpen ERA is #1 in all of Major League Baseball. And when you look at our starting rotation, I think our rotation is probably 10th, 11th, and 12th in baseball. So it hasn't been our pitching; it's been our offense. We are 27th in major leagues when it comes to on-base percentage, and without Aaron Judge, we're in last place. I don't remember the last time a Yankees offense was that bad. Do you guys remember in recent history the last time we had a Yankees offense that was this bad?
We had some rough stretches in 21 and 22, but not this bad.
No, not this bad. I remember the Yankees of the mid 2000s with the Matsui and Giambi and Sheffield, and the fact that they will work the pitchers count and make sure by the time we're in the 5th inning, the opposing pitcher had 60 pitches. I mean, had 90 pitches, and we're about to get into that bullpen. That's where we were in the mid 2000s. Right now in 2023, our offense seems a bit lost without Aaron Judge. But before we wrap it up, we got one more quote that I want to get your guys' thoughts on. I'll throw it over to Sandy to start us out. But Derek Jeter, he was quoted yesterday talking about the Yankees. He says, Derek Jeter, he still has hopes for the slumping Yankees, but he said just making it to the postseason is a wrong mentality to have. Sandy, when it comes to the captain saying those words, what's your thoughts? And do you feel the same way that Jeter does?
So this is the first time I'm reading this right now. He said he said, I don't think anyone in the Yankees organization is just going to sit there and say, hey, we just got to get into the to the playoffs. But the mentality of, I just think that just getting in is the wrong mentality to have. Just being happy making it to the postseason, because George Steinbrenner, he always told us. The mentality to make it to that is right. You want to make it to the postseason, but his quote is, it's beyond that.
Yeah, it's World Series or bust. Yeah,
I totally agree 100%. I mean, can we have him manage our team, please, Jeter? Come on.
I mean,
I wish.
Yeah, I think he wants to. Well, Randy
wants to own a team.
Yes, Randy Wilson told us he wants to get back in it, maybe if the right opportunity comes about. And he's actually making his Fox debut this weekend, so everyone check that out. That should be fun.
Yes, I can't wait for that. Listen, Listen, I'm not a big fan of Alex Rodriguez by himself. Alex Rodriguez with David Ortiz and Derek Jeter is probably the best version of Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah,
So
that would be good.
I can't wait till this weekend. But Julian, what's your thoughts when it comes to Jeter and his quote of just making it to the postseason is the wrong mentality to have?
This was actually a topic I wanted to touch on yesterday, and I'm happy we're gonna bring this up now. It's not good enough, and I don't want to squeak in as a wild card to get eliminated. Like, how do they consider that success? Like taking a wild card and losing in the first round. Hal just seems content to make it. He's like, I want to make it. If we get in there, anything could happen. Crapshoot, stupid mentality, rinse, repeat. We didn't get it done this year. It's a crapshoot. No, you need to, first of all, you got to prioritize winning the division, which isn't going to happen this year, most likely. And then you can't just get a wild card because it puts you at a disadvantage sometimes. I mean, you could win it all, but like the Yankees haven't been getting it done in that wild card. So I don't want to just make it and squeak it with 90 wins or like whatever the last spot would be. You gotta get a good spot in there if you're gonna get in.
No, definitely. Juanita, I apologize. Salute. Juanita's like, hey, Hector, where's my shout out, my guy? I apologize. Salute. 3 capital S's.
Sorry, Juanita.
My guy, Jason from 161 River Ave is in the building. Jason, salute. If you guys can, please smack that like button as we continue the conversation. We're about to wrap it up momentarily, but TC, I want to get your thoughts on that statement from Jeter. We got 45 people in the building. I think we're sitting on 31 or 32 likes. So if you guys can't smack the like button, we're trying to get up to 40 to 50 likes on the stream. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, that's definitely not the Jeter mentality. He was all in every year. I want to win the World Series every year. And for the Yankees just to say, oh, it's okay to make it, that's terrible. Who wants to just get in the playoffs and be like, well, we made it? That's their mentality because they're all about money now. They don't care about winning. I mean, for any sport, if you're in the Olympics or something, you qualify. Oh, I qualified, but I don't care about winning a gold or what is that? That's not competitive. That's just showing, the attitude of the age right now. Oh, everyone gets a trophy. You participated. Yay, good for you. I don't see the drive, the will to win anymore with this organization, and it's top down. I mean, even the players, I don't see the fire. I need a Paul O'Neill on this team, someone to fire this team up. Like, you guys can't be making these mistakes. And going back to Glaber, that guy should be benched. I don't care if we're struggling and he's the second best hitter. That mistake yesterday with the running, not tagging up or running he thought there was 2 outs. That's unacceptable. He needs to be benched. He needs to be accountable for that because these guys are getting away with it. And that goes to show that's on the manager and the ownership. They accept this type of play. And we're not – that's why we're mad. Hal needs to wake up. That's exactly why we're mad because we see this play and we can't take this anymore.
I tell you this right now, if Don Zimmer was on the bench, he would have ran out there like that was Pedro Martinez if he would have saw Gleyber Torres doing what he's doing.
Or Billy Martin.
I want to give a couple shout outs before we get out of here real quick. Jonathan, my guy, I appreciate you. Salute. 3 capital S's. Blue Gold as well, my guy. Salute. Hector Cruz is in the building. Appreciate all of you guys. And when you guys talk about the mentality of it's either championship or World Series or bust, that is what we have grown up on when it comes to watching the Yankees and George Steinbrenner. What bothered me the most yesterday when it comes to Hal Steinbrenner and that conversation was the fact that Hal said, every season teams should go into spring training and believe that they have a chance to make it to the postseason. I'm sorry. When did that change from teams should go into spring training thinking that they could win a World Series? That's the quote that I remember that we were told growing up. Not that, you should think that you can just make it to the postseason. No, it's always been you should think you should be able to win the World Series. Am I off base wondering when did that change? Sandy, when did that change for you?
Absolutely not. I mean, maybe we're just I hear a lot of people talk about, that we experienced the dynasty. We watched the 90s Yankees, that we're spoiled. Thank you, TC. That's what I hear a lot. No, we're not spoiled. This is our goal. We want to win, and that's how everyone should think about it this way. Not, oh, let's make the postseason. So it's totally. I'm with you, Hector.
Julian.
I don't know when things changed. I mean, and Hal spoke about it yesterday, and he was like, it hasn't changed really. He's just like, I'm not my father, it's and that, but I think about some of the things he would do. Like, that was just like, that was cringy, honestly. That was a tough set. That was a tough. That was a tough.
Well, no shit. No shit, you're not, George.
and like Uncle Tats from the Pinstripe Chronicle said, the new Yankee philosophy is just winning the bronze and throwing a party. And that's what it feels like.
I feel like when Girardi got fired, that was a big shift. Like when Boone came in, it feels like a lot of stuff changed at that point. Like they basically fired Girardi because he held Sanchez accountable, and look how that turns out. Bingo. And that's what it is. And listening to Eric Kratz when talking to Pete, Eric Kratz said, he's like, listen, Girardi wasn't a hard ass. He just expected you to just do whatever your job was asked of you. That's all he asked for. When Julian brings up of just making it to the postseason and just being happy. That's if you're the Colorado Rockies, right? That's if you're the Detroit Tigers, maybe the Cincinnati Reds, but not the New York Yankees. You have that mentality if you're in the AL Central, not the American League East with the New York Yankees. But guys, we're about that time. Sorry that we got to get out of here. I want to give it though to Sandy and Julian again, so you guys could follow them on social media. Sandy, let the people know where they can find you. Julian as well. And also make sure you tune in because the Dugout Station will be having their show on our channel. Make sure you guys support them on YouTube as well, Dugout Station. Sandy, let the people know where they can find you.
You can follow me on Twitter, Sandy Molinares, and Dugout Station. Simple.
Yeah, Twitter, I'm Julian Gavardi 1, and Instagram, I'm Julian Gavardi 11, and the Dugout Station is our handle for everything.
TC, any last words before we get out of here? You handsome dog, you.
Just let's continue with the winning, and it looks promising. Hopefully, we can get a sweep today, and maybe the bats will wake up, but I want to thank Sandy and Julian for a great show. You guys, keep up the great work. We just can't, we're looking forward to seeing you guys again. And Hector,
thank you.
As always.
Thank you. We appreciate
that.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
of course. Listen, Julian and Sandy, you guys have an open door policy. Whenever you wake up and you want to talk trash about the team, you guys are more than welcome to come up whenever you want. Just ask for the link, and you guys will get the link. Also, guys, like I said, make sure you follow them on YouTube because as much as our channel is growing, we want to make sure everybody that we work with and associate with, their channel grow as well. So make sure you guys go support Dugout Station on YouTube, like Sandy has on her hat. I gotta get me one of those hats. I gotta get me. So, Julian, I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna ran down on you in Somerset. Make sure you got one of those hats for you, my guy.
I just got a few of them actually. I gotta get you in on the next one.
Copy. I'm there. But guys, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Smack that like button, hit the subscribe button. Hopefully it doesn't rain that much.
Here's the other one with the antenna, but he was interested in it.
There you go. Hey, there. I like the antenna. I like that. It's free Wi-Fi. Thank you so much. But yeah, make sure you guys tap in. Hopefully it doesn't rain that much this weekend. And like always, peace out. Deuces.
You guys.
As the competition, but if you go against me, you the opposition. But if you want to look like you can close the distance, I'ma give it A forever since you're so persistent. With you, I'm just practicing, cause I'm back to back. Let's get back to winning. As a matter of fact, I'm not that forgiving.